This is the behind the scenes for Tears to Blood for the Aperture Light Dislocation Challenge. Unfortunately, our microphone died halfway through our shoot for our BTS camera, so here I am talking about it instead. This project actually started early September, and we had about 2 weeks of prep before our first shoot day. We had this amazing barn which belonged to the family of one of my lead actors, Dylan, who's also an associate producer for the short. We went out and scouted the place, and we knew we could only use one location. The only problem we encountered was that the barn was filled with industrial equipment, but luckily Dylan was able to organize for everything to be moved before the shoot. We were able to come in the night before the shoot to pre-light and start on set deck, and this really allowed us to move very quickly on an actual shoot day. We also had access to a crane and a forklift, which is amazing, which allowed my DP Gaten, along with my gaffer Jorge, and they were able to rig some very powerful LED lights. Actually, on the forklift we used the Aperture C300, which was coming through the right window, motivating the sunlight, and also acting as a backlight and also sometimes a key light for our characters. Then Gaten used the China balls, which acted as fill for our characters, and finally a 2K with full CTO for some ambient fill. We used the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K and a variety of Canon lenses with a Metabone speed booster for our main setup. The camera itself is small and lightweight, which allowed us to change setups very quickly, but it also doesn't compromise on quality. We also used the Aperture Amaran AL-F7 light, and this light was so small and it was very convenient to put it into the China ball, which is above our circular table. It acted as a fill light for one of our actors, and it was great because it was so small. It lasted both days. We had multiple Sony NPF batteries which we were able to switch out, and it was very convenient for us to use. We also used the Atomos Ninja Assassin monitor, which is also very helpful because it allows us to see frame guides, so we can see our crop for aspect ratios for post, and that really allows us the flexibility to do that. So we actually used a fog machine. It was a very cheap fog machine. Ideally we would have liked access to a haze machine, but unfortunately we couldn't get that for the shoot. But the fog machine, it's a little bit thick, so we had to disperse it with some cardboard. Just flapping it about with our hands did the job for the most part. And it actually added a lot of atmosphere to our look and the feel of the short film. It allowed these great rays of light that were coming through the windows, and it just added this general warm feel and ambience that we really wanted to see. So that was also a great little asset to our production. Our location was amazing. We had these wonderful textures that were throughout this barn. It really fit this western vibe. We had this amazing barn door that was sort of the highlight of this location. It allowed the light to come through the little cracks and really hit the smoke that we had going in there, and allowed these amazing rays, as I mentioned before. So while we were setting up lights in the morning on our first shoot day, the actors arrived with my producer Sushant, and they went straight to hair, makeup and wardrobe to get their outfits on, their makeup done, just to be ready for the shoot while we were setting up lighting. On our second day we were able to use Nikisha's great makeup skills, and she was able to do a bullet wound for Jerry's character, and she was able to do this great prosthetic on his head, and that was really cool to see too. And then we started shooting, and it's interesting because when you start shooting your actual project and you're in the thick of it, and you're there waiting for this shot, and then you're on to the next shot, and then this one shot takes much longer than you expect it to, and you have to schedule with your AD on the fly, making sure that you still can tell a story, and you have to start cutting shots out, and sometimes you see a shot which you never planned for, and you try adding that in. So it's a very interesting process, which I'm amazed by how different it is every time on every different story that I'm trying to tell. So it was a great shoot. Of course we ran out of time like we always do at the end of our second day, but we were able to manage to get the shots enough to be able to tell the story effectively and get our story across to the audience, I think. The use of the word accent,
It's better to say me an accent.
was incorporated as a dead character's name. Actually, antagonist Ike used it in his monologue, which he was explaining to Alonzo everything that had gone on before he'd come here, and essentially Accent is Alonzo's father, who Ike had killed before coming to this scene. Set deck was also a huge element of our short story. It had to look and feel like the Western period, and it was essential that we find the right set deck, the right type of lighting, the right type of props that we could use in this scene. Also, the wardrobe had to fit in the time period. So all of these elements were coordinated with my set decorator Corey Rokes, who's also the production designer on the short, and also my costume designer Ethan Feaster. He was also great in picking out the costumes for our characters and really making sure they fit that time period. All in all, though, it was an excellent shoot. I learned so much, as I do every time I film a short film of this nature. I learned so much from my peers, from my actors, from everyone really, and it really was a joy to be able to shoot this project over these 2 days and see it come to life before my eyes. We thank Aperture for this opportunity and all the partners who were able to put together this competition and really motivate us to go out and shoot this project. So we hope you enjoyed our little short film and our behind the scenes video. Until next time.